Welcome back, everybody. Here we are doing it all over again. Today, I am bringing you another affordable component. Do you want to know if this is a great integrated for the price? Are there better options out there? I know some of you guys are quite interested in knowing my take on this affordable integrated. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Please subscribe, hit that like button. You are looking at what I have promised you. I am reviewing yet another affordable component because you guys are hearing me out. You are finally subscribing and hitting that like button. So continue to subscribe, continue to show me the interest, your interest on more affordable gear. I will pursue more components like this. I got other things that I am thinking about bringing to the channel. So right now is where you can make a difference by subscribing. This is the only way that I will know you want me to keep going with this. You did it with the MoFi SourcePoint 10 loudspeakers by subscribing. Now I'm urging you to do the same right now with this review. Okay? So hopefully you guys can continue to support me because I really appreciate this. Anyway, what I have here today is the long-awaited review of the Boulder 866 Integrated. This integrated came to me approximately 2 months ago. Quite frankly, I had it on the sidelines in a box, had completely forgotten about it. And when I brought the MoFi SourcePoint 10 loudspeakers, I was using my Boulder 3050 models that you see right behind me. So it kind of dawned on me the idea of, hey, why don't you put an integrated that is affordable behind the speakers, because most people will never buy this level of electronics with a $3,700 loudspeaker. So I went ahead and busted open my 866, plugged it in, and of course, I'm about to give you my impressions. Just as a preface to the entire review, I want to say to you that before I even received this integrated, I had to receive feedback from dealers, from people that are in the industry, that their perception of this integrated was not the greatest. It didn't have enough power, or it wasn't really all that for the money, okay? But you know how I do it. I gotta buy it and try it in my own environment. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. However, I got sidetracked with other things, never got a chance to plug it in up until I brought the MoFi SourcePoint 10 loudspeakers. But I had a preconceived idea that it was completely going to be a bad product. It was not going to blow me away. I almost contemplated selling it before I even heard it. But you know, I had quite the surprise. This integrated retails for $14,250 as of today. Now, there are two versions. There is the analog version, which is the one that MSRP is for $14,250. And they also have what they call analog plus digital version. Now, let me show you what the digital version includes. So you are seeing right now at the extra digital module that is added for an additional $1,500. Okay, this gives you the ability to connect Ethernet. You're able to also plug in USB devices like an external hard drive with music, as well as optical. For instance, let's say you have a cable box that you want to feed a digital source from into this unit. You can do it right here, okay? Now, here's the beauty of that. You can literally plug this into your network, download a third-party app. I downloaded one called M Connect, which is free, by the way. Not the best, not the best app to control the unit. It's a little glitchy, but it works. It's free. You don't have to spend money on Rune if you don't want to, although it is Rune certified. And if you have Rune, you can control it through Rune. I didn't do that myself. If you are a person that just simply does not want to spend more money buying external softwares or anything else to make this function, this unit will be the one that you need, because you literally download that M-Connect application on your phone, whether it be iPhone, Android, or your tablet, and it will automatically find this device in your network. Then through there, you go ahead and go through the motions. You're able to download Tidal or Cobus, whatever you want, and begin to stream right away. Okay, so that to me is awesome. It's a beautiful thing that you're able to, it's almost as plug and play as you can get with this device. Now, the specifications of this device are 200 watts per channel into 8 ohms, doubling down to 400 watts per channel into 4 ohms. There is no specification into a 2 ohm load. So typically this is something that you see from a lot of brands. They don't really go into details when it comes to a 2 ohm load, okay? They're not going, I don't really know why they do that. I'm assuming it may not be as stable into a 2 ohm load, or maybe the idea is that you don't really use this with a speaker that is so difficult to drive, okay? This is why Boulder also sells the big boys behind me, okay? So that if you have very power hungry speakers, then you can go up the ladder into perhaps an 1160 or, you know, maybe the 2160 and whatnot. Okay, on the front of the panel, you have a touchscreen display, as you can see, okay? It's very touchy. You can actually select your inputs from the front. You can look at all the different settings, okay? And it's actually a very beautiful display, I must say. Anytime you play a song, you're able to see the artist information, the album on the display, which I think is a really nice touch, considering the fact that the rest of my electronics, my MSB DAC, and of course my preamplifier do not show me such nice graphics, okay? This Boulder gives you that. So it kind of allows you to kind of sit back and enjoy and just be wowed by the display and all the information that it contains. As far as weight, the unit is approximately, I think it is like 54 pounds. So it's, you know, it's, yeah, 54 pounds. And I just unplugged it.
A few minutes later.
Anyway, on the front panel, we have 4 buttons, very simplistic. We have the power button right here. We got the mute button and the volume up and down. Very simple. Nothing really crazy. Now let's talk about the sonics, the one thing that you guys want to know about. One of the greatest attributes that I found with this integrated is that it is extremely musical. Yes, very, very beautiful sounding, very engaging. Now, full disclosure, I will say this unit was plugged into my Strum tank and my authentic audio image cables, the Assoluto model, a brand that I am the sole distributor for here in the United States. Check it out on my website. This is one of the most musical cables that I have ever heard. The musicality, the resolution, the detail is really, really, really beautiful. It is not forced down your throat. And I'm guilty to say this. I will say it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very honest. My Boulder 3000 level of electronics, the 3000 series to be specific, can get somewhat forceful at times, but I can mitigate some of that with doing a couple of tweaks. A couple of footers for my cable line, my cables, of course. I got to do a lot more work with my 3000 series Boulder level of electronics than I do with this. This is simple plug and play. Not much tinkering with it. This is one of the most beautiful things that I want to say about this integrated, guys. It is just an all-in-one box solution. As far as the mid-range, it's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, clean, clear, crisp mid-range. Same effect that I typically get in my room, locked in dead center where I'm standing. Right here on my chest is where I hear the mids, and they're very sorted out, very well projected into the room, okay? Is it going to be like a tube preamplifier and amplifier? No, but you get a lot of naturalness and clarity through the mid-range. As far as the soundstage is concerned, it's a very nice soundstage, well proportioned around the speakers, separates things quite well. There's a lot of airiness around the instrumentation. That to me was quite a surprise because it is only 200 watts per channel, yet it is able to handle either my Wilson Audio Sasha DAWs that are over here, or even my magical A5s without any issue. And I'm always believing that these two speakers need a lot of power to really glow, but this integrated actually showed me otherwise. As far as the bass is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good considering the amount of power that this unit has, 200 watts per channel. So it's never going to punch like my 3050 monos. And it's not designed to do that because, again, we're talking about a $14,000 integrated, okay? So if you need more control, that's when you go up the ladder within the Boulder lineup. Another great thing about this integrated is that I never found myself overanalyzing the presentation. Again, it does this weird effect on me, which is to turn off the analytical thinking hat, the audiophile hat that a lot of times we wear to begin to dissect the music. This doesn't allow you to do that because it is so beautiful sounding, so engaging, guys, that I really found myself just making it about the music and not the electronics. And that's one thing that I really loved about this 866 integrated. Of course, as far as construction, this is, Boulder, guys. This is absolutely well built. As a matter of fact, I gotta say this. Yes, you guys always want a little bit of controversy on my videos. And I'm gonna go all out and say, this shows you how horrible, how bad, how terrible the AccuPhase E800 really is. Do you guys remember way back when, look back on my older videos when I talked about the AccuPhase E800? Guys, that is one terrible integrated, and it is maybe $25,000 today because I reviewed it like 3 years ago when I first started my channel. This is on a whole new level, folks. Once again, please don't get caught believing the hype on a lot of these products. This is so much more integrated than a lot of the integrateds that hover around this price point. Now, I'm not going to say you can't find an amazing integrated under 10 grand. There are great options. Luxman 509, you got a Hagel 590, you got a lot of great options. But this to me is just absolutely astonishing for what it does. And I love the fact that it just feels like you're getting your money's worth when you touch it. I love the simplicity. I love the fact that you just need two cables. Essentially, you need your Ethernet if you want to do it hardwire, because you can also you can also connect this to your Wi-Fi. So you don't really need an Ethernet cable in the event that your router is too far away. You can just connect it to your Wi-Fi as well to stream music, okay? And then your power cord, and you're done. And it sounds amazing, and you don't have to be worried about, holy crap, I got all these cables. The wife is complaining that you got all these things. You got a preamplifier, a DAC over here, an amplifier here. You got interconnects going. You got 3 power cords. You got speaker cables. This is so simple. As a matter of fact, if I were to retire today and call it quits, I would probably retire with this piece and either a pair of Magical A5s or Wilson Audio Sasha DAWs, a speaker around that price point with this, and call it a day, folks. Call it a day. I'm done. You don't really need to do anything else, in my opinion, because it is just awesome sounding, really enjoyable. For the money, especially when you consider the price point, it's almost laughable that I'm spending the kind of money I'm spending behind me when this does so much for a fraction of the price. Now, it's not going to compete with the big heavy hitters. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying here. But what it will do is make you realize the law of diminishing returns. It's painful. I have to pinch myself at times here because I cannot believe the law of diminishing returns. When I hear this piece, and then I hear my Boulder with my MSB DAC, with my Strong Tank, with my R-Render, which is completely unnecessary when you have this piece. It gives you the joy factor that sometimes the ultra high end doesn't really bring to the table, if I'm being honest. That's straight up being real with y'all. Okay, so I gotta say that about this piece. Absolutely incredible. If you are a person that has high like efficiency speakers, for instance, fine audio speakers, right? Or even avant-garde, or a speaker that has high efficiency, I think this is going to be phenomenal for you. Phenomenal because it is smooth. It's never bright. It's never abrasive. It never gets shouty. It never gets in your face. It's well organized. The DAC to me is a steal for $1,500. $1,500. This DAC, folks, listen, I mean, I've heard a lot of DACs, okay? You guys know this. We have one here for $120,000, okay? Now, I'm not going to say it's the same as an MSB for $1,500 against $120,000, right? No. But when you hear it incorporated into this preamplifier and amplifier all in one chassis, I mean, I am like in disbelief. I can't even believe how great it sounds. This DAC is killer. I mean, I connected my MSB Select 2 into this. Things got slightly better, but when you hear the law of diminishing returns, you're thinking, at least I'll be transparent right now and tell you, is it the synergistic effect the Boulder builds here? Should I be looking perhaps into getting a Boulder 2120 for my 3000 series of Boulder electronics? I mean, because it is baffling. I'm thinking this DAC here is tuned perfectly for the preamp and amplifier found here. And so now this goes back to this entire conversation and what I have been very vocal about, the importance of the synergistic effect when it comes to electronics, when it comes to audio components. Oftentimes we embark on doing our own cooking in the kitchen, which is fine because it is part of the hobby. We know that, okay? That's kind of the fun factor, although it can be painful at times. But when you buy an integrated like this, everything in here is made to work well together. And that's, in my opinion, the biggest benefit here is there's no cooking needed right here with this integrated. Now, if I am you, and if you're thinking about ordering or buying this integrated, I urge you to buy the DAC. Please do not overlook the DAC. If you think your Lumen or your render streamer or whatever you may have is all you need and you don't need to spend the money, the extra $1,500 on the optional DAC, please do not do that. Buy it with the DAC, because maybe when you hear the DAC in this thing and you plug in your DAC into it, you're going to realize, I am selling my DAC, I'm getting rid of it, because this $1,500 DAC is killer. Killer. I don't need to keep my $8,000 Lumen. I don't need to keep my DCS Bartok, whatever you may have. This thing is brutally amazing for the money. Now, I am done preaching this device, and as you know, no product is perfect. And now I am going to go over the cons of this product. Okay? So, first and foremost, one of the cons of this product is the fact that it has no remote control, folks. It comes with no remote. So I spoke to Boulder about that, and Boulder told me that there is a remote on Amazon. You may have to reach out to them. They never sent me the link. There's a remote that you can buy on Amazon for $15, and they actually made this unit work with that remote through a software update. So there is that option. Okay, now if you want to operate it with a remote, all you have to do is find the IP address of this device within your network. Once you open up that browser, you can actually see all the operational stuff of this integrated, including the volume. So you can actually be on the page of this device and control the volume with your iPad or your phone. So you can do that. You can also change inputs. within the IP address of this device. So that's cool. But that person that's not very, very technologically savvy, like that person that is not really into computers, you have to invest on the optional remote, which you can buy, according to Boulder, for $15 on Amazon. I don't know the link. I don't know the remote. They never send me the link, so reach out to Boulder with regards to that. Now, another thing that I do not like is the fact that the display, although it is touchscreen, as you can see right now, it is very sluggish. It doesn't really move smoothly from left to right, right to left. Sometimes it stays hung up. And that can be a little frustrating for some of you. For me, it doesn't really bother me too much because I'm somewhat patient at times, not all the time, but that needs to be said. Another con that I really, really completely just don't understand, other than the fact that it might be fixable with a software update, is the fact that the volume goes from 0 to 100. You basically have no volume from 0 to 50. I didn't stutter. You're hearing me now. 0 to 50 is unusable. I told Boulder, this is not done correctly. Why is there no sound from 0 to 50? And long story short, Boulder said that the configuration of this volume from 0 to 100 is typically not in Boulder fashion. They basically use negative and positive volume levels. So it can go from like -20 to +20, things of that nature, right? Typically, that's how Boulder is configured. But with this device, they wanted to do 0 to 100, and they did tell me that they hope to fix that with a future software update, but I gotta make sure I tell you all, there is no music coming out of your speakers. There will be nothing happening from 0 to 50, okay? You have been warned. Now, the last thing I would say is a con is the fact that, yes, guys, it is only 200 watts per channel. It is not really an integrated that will drive very difficult loads. So you have to be selective with the speakers. Again, I approve of the Magical A5s, Wilson Audio Sasha DAWs, and I'm sure there are other speakers out there that will be fine with it. But I don't think per se my former Magical S7s would be okay with it. My Wilson Audio XLFs will be okay with it. That is not the intent of this integrated, okay? Keep that into perspective. I urge you to look into speakers that are relatively easy to drive, and you should be absolutely fine. I told Boulder myself they should really, really consider building an integrated that puts out around 300 watts per channel, 350 if possible, so that it can compete in terms of power against these bigger integrateds, such as the PassLabs INT250, okay? That integrated clearly has more power than this. So Boulder is definitely hearing me out. I'm sure if you're out there watching me, Boulder, I'm telling you, if you build an integrated around the $20,000 MSRP price point, something beefier, larger, taller, even if it weighs 30, 40 pounds more, I think you're gonna have a great opportunity there to make some sales, because I could see myself using that, no problem. Especially if it sounds like this, but just bigger, more impactful, fuller, I can see myself using that integrated, and at times disconnecting from all this madness behind me. So consider that, Boulder, in the future. I think it would be really, really helpful to your current lineup of products to have an integrated in the $20,000 price bracket, because I know there are some audiophiles out there that can use that kind of power. Anyway, that is my review of the Boulder 866 integrated. An integrated that has blown me away on all counts. When you consider the price point, of $15,750 as configured, I promise you're going to have a hard time finding something superior for this kind of money. It shocked me, and you can be sure it will shock you too. Don't forget to check out my website, jayaudiolab.com, where I have more information with regards to this integrated and many other upcoming reviews. And please Do not forget to subscribe so that I can continue to pursue more affordable electronics for you all. You are in charge and you are in control of my channel now. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button right now so that I know that I need to carry on with this level of reviews. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned for more.